Listen carefully, my beloved child. Stop scrolling right now. Do not move past this moment as if it is ordinary, because this is not random and you are not here by accident. Out of all the noise, out of all the voices competing for your attention, I have placed my hand on this interruption. I have found you in the middle of your day, in the middle of your thoughts, in the middle of your questions, and I am speaking to you now with clarity and with love. I know what you have been carrying. I see the way you keep checking your phone and nothing changes. I see the quiet notifications, the unanswered messages, the delayed call, the silence that feels like a closed sky. I see the money that has stalled, the numbers that do not move, the bills that still come, even when the breakthrough has not yet arrived. I see the prayers you whispered and then tried to forget because you were tired of hoping. I see the heaviness in your chest when you wake up, and the way you exhale as if your body has been holding its breath for weeks. I see the secret tears you wiped before anyone could notice, the smile you practiced in public, the strength you performed while your heart asked, "Did I do something wrong? Did I miss it? Did God forget me?" No, my beloved, I have not forgotten you. I am not absent. I am not ignoring you, and I am not punishing you with delay. What you are calling silence is not abandonment. What you are calling nothing is not nothing. What you are calling a standstill is not a standstill. Nothing looks different to you because I am working where your eyes cannot reach. I am moving in places you cannot monitor, arranging what you cannot control, closing what would have wounded you, and preparing what will carry you. You keep looking for evidence in the visible, but I am building your answer in the unseen. Listen to me. I am not late. I am precise. And my timing is not only about what you want, it is about what you can hold. It is about what you are becoming. It is about the alignment of people, doors, places, and your own heart. There are things you asked me for that I will not release one day early, because if I give it to you before you are ready, it becomes a burden instead of a blessing. And there are things you begged me to open that I refused, not because you are lacking, but because I am protecting your future. You could not see what I could see. You could not discern what I was discerning. You only saw the opportunity. I saw the consequence. You only saw the affection. I saw the cost. You only saw the open path. I saw the trap waiting at the end of it. So when it went quiet, when it felt like nothing was happening, when you thought, maybe heaven has gone silent, I was not stepping away from you. I was stepping in front of you. I was shielding you. I was redirecting you. I was separating you from what cannot follow you. I was keeping certain voices from reaching you because they would have pulled you out of alignment. I was quieting certain rooms because you have been surrounded by too many opinions and not enough instruction. And I was allowing this season to slow you down, not to waste you, but to position you. Breathe, my child. I know you have been trying to interpret every delay as rejection. I know you have been replaying conversations, second-guessing decisions, wondering if you prayed wrong, wondered if you should have moved faster, wondered if you should have said less or said more. I know you have been tempted to chase what is not chasing you, to force what is not ready, to settle just to stop feeling stuck. But I am telling you now, do not rush ahead of me, and do not try to force anything into place. What I have for you will not require you to betray your peace to obtain it. What I have ordained will not demand that you compromise your dignity to keep it. What is from me will come with my order, my protection, and my confirmation. And I am going to help you understand what is happening, because I will not leave you confused. I will not let you sit in the dark and call it your identity. This is a passage, not a prison. This is a corridor, not a grave. This is not the end of your story. It is the part where I am working quietly, so that when I reveal it, it will be undeniable. Others will call it sudden, but you will know it was built in secret. Stay with me now, because I am going to show you the signs you have been missing. I am going to lay them out plainly, 5 signs that your breakthrough is already moving, even while your life looks the same on the surface. 5 signs that I am active behind the scenes. Closing doors, removing what cannot go, quieting your environment, stirring a holy restlessness, and sending you unusual confirmation, small, repeated, unignorable. And I will tell you what to do in this waiting, so you do not sabotage the timing, with fear, with forcing, or with impatience. Because some delays are not from me, they are created when my children keep grabbing the steering wheel while I am trying to guide them. So hear me, my beloved child, this silence is not absence, This quiet is not neglect. This pause is not punishment. It is preparation, it is protection, it is alignment. And right now, even as you sit with that heavy chest, even as your eyes scan for change, I am already doing what you cannot see. I am already arranging what you have been asking for. I am already working on your behalf. Remain here with me and let my words settle your spirit, because what I am about to reveal will steady you, and it will keep you from leaving the very moment your answer is near. Now listen closely, my beloved child, because before I show you the signs, I must heal the way you have been interpreting this season. You have been calling it punishment because it has felt like restraint. You have been calling it rejection because it has felt like you are watching life move for everyone else while yours stands still. You have been calling it abandonment because the noise has reduced and the applause has quieted and the familiar doors have not opened on your timeline. But hear me clearly, not because you are forgotten, but because you are being formed, not because I have withdrawn my hand, but because I have placed my hand on you with precision. Not because I am withholding to make you suffer, but because I am preparing you to carry what you prayed for without bleeding from it. There are answers that would crush you if they came too early. There are blessings that would become burdens if I released them into a version of you that still doubts me at the first delay, that still panics at the first silence, that still needs constant reassurance from people to believe what I already spoke. I am not going to give you a door that your character cannot sustain. I am not going to give you speed that your spirit cannot manage. I am not going to give you increase that your mind will interpret as pressure and then call it too much. I am a good father, and I am protective over you, and I am even more protective over what is coming to meet you. You asked me for more. You asked me for change. You asked me for healing, for provision, for elevation, for love that is safe, for a purpose that is clear, for a life that is stable. And now you are in a space where it feels like nothing is happening, and you wonder if your prayer disappeared into the ceiling. But this is what many do not understand. Preparation often feels like punishment when you do not know what I am building. Training feels like delay when you only value arrival. Formation feels like restriction when you only want release. But I am not just trying to get you to the promise. I am shaping you so the promise does not undo you. Because I have watched you, my child. I have seen how you carry things. I have seen you overextend, over-explain, overgive, and then collapse in private. I have seen you try to hold yourself together while your heart is asking, when will it be my turn? I have seen you smile while your stomach is tight with anxiety. I have seen you make detours just to soothe the discomfort of waiting, calling people you should not call, entertaining conversations I already warned you about, revisiting old patterns because at least they are familiar, even if they are not safe. I have seen you consider forcing a door, not because it is my will, but because you are tired of feeling uncertain. And I am telling you this, with tenderness and with authority, do not trade alignment for temporary relief. You keep misreading delay as denial, and it is exhausting you. You keep assuming that because you cannot see movement, there is no movement. But I do not live in the volume of your environment. My nearness is not measured by noise. My presence is not proven by constant updates. I am with you when it is loud, and I am with you when it is quiet. I am with you when the phone rings, and I am with you when it does not. I am with you when the account increases, and I am with you when you are stretching what you have. I told you, and I will tell you again, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. You are not alone in this waiting. You are not forgotten in this pause. You are not invisible to me in this in-between. Understand this. I refuse to release a promise into a version of you that would panic and sabotage it. I refuse to place you in rooms you begged for, if you will shrink the moment you enter them. I refuse to connect you to people you prayed for, if you are still addicted to proving yourself to those who never valued you. I refuse to accelerate you into a season your soul has not yet learned how to rest inside of, because what you are calling slow is often me teaching you stability. What you are calling stagnant is often me building roots. What you are calling nothing is often me removing the need to control everything so you can finally trust me with your whole heart. And yes, the waiting has exposed you. It has exposed what you run to when you are afraid. It has exposed the way you try to explain yourself when you feel misunderstood. It has exposed the way you reach for quick fixes when your spirit is uncomfortable. Some of you have been over-explaining yourself to people I never assigned to understand you, and it has drained you. You have been trying to narrate your pain to those who only listen to judge. You have been trying to convince others you are worthy, when I already called you mine. Be still, my child. You do not need to perform in the hallway. You do not need to make a case for your future. What I have written for you does not require constant defense. And hear me, forcing is not faith. Rushing is not obedience. Chasing is not trust. When you force a door, you inherit what is behind it without my covering. When you settle to stop the ache of waiting, you attach yourself to what cannot sustain you. When you keep taking detours to soothe anxiety, you end up adding miles to a journey that would have been shorter if you had simply stayed with me. I am not saying this to shame you. I am saying this to protect you, because I know how close you are, and I know how temptation increases right before alignment manifests. So let this settle in you. This waiting season is not empty. It is training for what is coming. I am teaching your hands to hold what they asked for. I am teaching your heart to stay soft without being naive. I am teaching your mind to be steady without needing constant reassurance. I am teaching you discernment so you stop calling every open door my favor and every closed door my absence. I am teaching you to recognize my voice over your fears, my instruction over your impulses, my timing over your impatience. Stay with me here, my beloved. Do not measure my work by your calendar. Do not measure my love by your pace. Do not measure your future by this moment of discomfort. This is not punishment. This is preparation. And when you understand that, the waiting will no longer feel like a cage. It will feel like a womb. It will no longer feel like abandonment. It will feel like formation. And you will stop trying to escape the very place where I am shaping you for the next thing you have been crying out for. Now, my beloved child, here is the first sign that I am moving even when your life looks the same. I keep closing doors, and I keep doing it on purpose. You have watched opportunities rise and then suddenly collapse. You have seen dates that were set and then canceled. You have seen interviews that felt promising go quiet. You have watched paperwork stall for no reason anyone can explain. You have felt the momentum build, your heart start to lean forward, your mind begin to plan. And then right before you commit, right before you sign, right before you move, right before you attach your name, something shuts, something delays, something denies you access. And you have taken it personally. You have said, maybe I'm not qualified, maybe I'm not enough, maybe I missed my moment. You have replayed your words and your choices like a courtroom in your head, trying to find the sentence that disqualified you. You have carried that heaviness of feeling like you were almost chosen, almost seen, almost favored, and then overlooked at the last second. But listen carefully, because I am going to correct you with love. It was not because you lacked. It was because that door could not carry your next level. It was not because I changed my mind about you. It was because I never intended for you to build your future in a place that would eventually drain you, shrink you, or break you. It was not because you were unworthy. It was because you were being protected from an expensive yes. I know it hurts, because it feels like rejection. It feels like people chose someone else. It feels like you weren't picked. It feels like you were overlooked while others walked through doors you prayed for. And some of you have been sitting with that ache, smiling in public and grieving in private, wondering why you keep reaching the edge of something, and then it slips away. But hear me, that is not rejection. It is recognition. I am recognizing the weight of what I placed on your life. I am recognizing the calling you carry, and I will not let you squeeze a destiny-sized assignment into a small room just because you are tired of waiting. There are rooms that clap for you at first and then punish you for outgrowing them. There are environments that welcome your gift but cannot tolerate your growth. There are partnerships that look like provision but require you to dim your light to keep the peace. There are open doors that are only open because they are desperate, not because they are aligned. And I have been closing what would have made you beg for freedom later. I have been shutting what would have cost you more than money, cost you time, cost you joy, cost you health, cost you purity, cost you peace. You were asking me for blessing, and I was answering you with protection. You were asking me for increase, and I was refusing any shortcut that would poison you on arrival. Some of you were one signature away, one conversation away, one yes away from a situation that would have looked good to others but would have slowly eroded you. And I stepped in, I interrupted it. I stalled it. I canceled it. And you called it delay, but it was mercy. You called it disappointment, but it was deliverance. You called it a setback, but it was my hand on your shoulder saying, "Not that way, my child. Not that price. Not that container. Not that ceiling." Understand this clearly. When I close a door, I am not playing with your emotions. I am not teasing you. I am not making you hope for nothing. I am saving you from what you cannot yet see. I see the fine print you didn't read. I see the motives behind the smiles. I see what would have been required of you to stay there. I see the compromise that would have been normalized. I see the stress that would have followed you home. I see the way you would have started calling survival success. And because I love you, I close it. Because I have plans to prosper you and not to harm you, I block the path that looks like progress but leads to pain. And yes, it can be confusing, because some of these doors were good doors. They were not sinful doors. They were not obviously wrong. They were just not your doors. They were not built for what is coming. They were not wide enough for the increase you asked me for. They were not strong enough for the weight you are about to carry, not because you are difficult, but because you are designed differently. Not because you asked for too much, but because I am taking you higher. Not because you are behind, but because I am aligning timing, people, and place so that when you step, you do not step into constant resistance. So I am telling you what to do with this sign, because I do not want you to mismanage your own protection. Stop chasing what keeps resisting you. Stop trying to resurrect what I have already buried. Stop calling it persistence when it is actually anxiety. There is a difference between faith and fixation. Faith follows my voice. Fixation follows fear. Faith can wait in peace. Fixation panics and performs. And some of you have been spending prayer on doors I already answered, because you keep trying to make a no become a yes so you can feel in control again. Let the no save you. Let it save your money. Let it save your time. Let it save your reputation. Let it save your heart from attaching to something that cannot steward you well. Let it save you from explaining later why you ignored every warning I placed in your spirit. My child, you do not have to force what is not meant to hold you. If it requires you to beg for basic honor, it is not from me. If it requires you to betray your peace, it is not from me. If it requires you to shrink, to lie, to pretend, to hustle in panic just to keep it alive, then it is not a door I opened. And I know you are tired. I know you want something to finally work. I know you want to finally land somewhere and exhale. But I am asking you no. I am instructing you do not interpret my closed doors as evidence that I am against you. Interpret them as proof that I am in front of you. I am your shield. I am your rear guard. I am the one who goes before you and makes the crooked places straight. And when I close a door, I am not taking something from you. I am keeping something for you. I am keeping you for what is aligned. I am keeping your hands free for what will not collapse when you lean on it. So when the plan falls apart at the last moment, do not spiral. When the call doesn't come, do not beg. When the email says, "We went another direction," do not let shame preach to you. Lift your head and say, "My Father is protecting my future." Because what you thought you lost was often what would have delayed you. What you thought you needed was often what would have distracted you. And what you thought was a door into promise was sometimes only a door into another cycle. Stay tender, my beloved. Stay teachable. And let this be your peace. I am not closing doors to punish you. I am closing doors to position you. I am not blocking you to embarrass you. I am blocking what would have eventually broken you. And if you will stop chasing what I have shut, you will have the strength and the clarity to recognize the door I am about to open with ease, with order, and with the kind of confirmation that leaves no doubt it was me. And now, my beloved child, here is the second sign that I am moving, even when nothing looks different on the surface. I am removing people and patterns that cannot follow you. You have felt it, even if you have not had words for it. Conversations that used to flow now feel forced. Friendships that once felt familiar now feel heavy. The same room you used to tolerate now feels like it is shrinking around you. And some of you have watched it happen quietly. No dramatic argument, no obvious betrayal, no big explanation, just distance, just silence, just a shift. They used to call, they used to check in, they used to invite you, and now it is different. And you have been tempted to interpret that difference as your failure. Listen carefully to me, because I see the way you have replayed it. I see you revisiting the last conversation, scanning your words, trying to find the moment you ruined it. I see you wondering if you were too much, if you were too honest, if you were too intense, if you were too quiet, if you were too sensitive. I see you trying to fix what I am finishing. I see you trying to explain yourself to people I never assigned to carry your heart. And I see the grief. You do not like to admit the ache of being misunderstood, the loneliness of realizing that some connections were seasonal, the sting of watching people treat your growth like your offense. And yes, it hurts, because you loved them. You prayed with them, you built with them, you laughed with them. You thought they would be there when I did what I promised. You imagined them clapping when I elevated you, covering you when life got hard, celebrating you without envy, honoring you without competition. And now you are watching that picture dissolve, and it feels like loss. It feels like a small death. It feels like you are being left behind or pushed out, but I am telling you the truth with tenderness and with authority. I was removing what did not carry your future. Do not confuse my separation with abandonment. Do not call it rejection when it is protection. There are people who loved the version of you that overgave, over-explained, and overextended. There are people who were comfortable with you as long as you stayed accessible, as long as you stayed agreeable, as long as you stayed small enough to manage. And when I began to heal you, when I began to strengthen your boundaries, when I began to sharpen your discernment, when I began to call you higher, something in them resisted. Not because you became arrogant, but because you became free. Not because you changed for the worse, but because you changed in a way that no longer fed what was unhealthy. And it is not only people, my child, it is patterns. It is habits you used to call normal that now feel loud in your spirit. It is the way you used to numb yourself to get through the day. It is the entertainment you used to consume without thinking that now leaves you empty. It is the late night scrolling, the overworking, the impulsive spending, the returning to familiar chaos just to feel something move. It is the flirting with what I already delivered you from. It is the old cycle of running back when you feel lonely, even though you know it does not honor you. And you have felt conviction, not condemnation, conviction. That quiet discomfort that says, this cannot go with you. That holy resistance that rises up when you try to fit your next season into your old routines. That is not you being dramatic. That is me training you for alignment. Because chosen seasons require separation, and you are chosen, my beloved. You are not being isolated to punish you. You are being set apart to protect what I am birthing in you. Some of you are in a quieter circle right now because I am removing distractions that would have diluted your focus. Some of you are hearing less noise because I am turning down the voices that used to steer you by opinion rather than by my instruction. Some of you feel unusually sensitive because I am refining your discernment, so you stop calling familiarity safe, and you stop calling attention love, and you stop calling access assignment. Hear me. Not everyone who had access to you had alignment with you. Not everyone who laughed with you could build with you. Not everyone who benefited from your kindness was sent to steward your future. And I will not permit you to drag people into your next season who will require you to bleed to keep them close. I will not permit you to keep patterns that sabotage your peace and then ask me to bless what is breaking you. I love you too much to let your destiny be crowded by what cannot sustain it. So, I am giving you instruction, because this is where many delay themselves. Bless what is leaving. Do not curse it. Do not obsess over it. Do not become bitter and call it wisdom. Release it with clean hands. My child, thank me for what it was, learn what it taught you, and let it go. Because if you cling to what I am removing, you will call it loyalty, but it will become bondage. If you keep reaching for what I have allowed to fade, you will keep reopening wounds I am trying to heal. If you beg for access to people who keep choosing distance, you will shrink yourself to stay connected, and you will resent them later for the very compromise you volunteered to make. Do not beg to be included where your presence is no longer honored. Do not chase explanations from those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Do not keep proving yourself to people who only valued you when you were convenient. That is not humility, that is fear. And fear will make you reopen what I closed for your safety. Fear will make you text again, call again, apologize again for things you did not do, just to get the temporary relief of feeling wanted. But I am telling you now, do not reopen what I closed. Do not rebuild what I tore down. Do not resurrect what I released. And when the loneliness tries to speak louder than my promise, when the quiet makes you second-guess yourself, when the enemy whispers, "Look, you are alone. You must have done something wrong," answer him with truth. My Father is making room. Because that is what this is. What is leaving your life is making room for what is aligned with your destiny. I am clearing space for relationships that can celebrate you without competing with you. I am clearing space for helpers who are assigned, not just friendly. I am clearing space for connections that honor your boundaries and your calling. I am clearing space for peace that does not require performance. I am clearing space for habits that strengthen you instead of draining you. I am clearing space so that when I bring the next thing, it will not be forced to fight through clutter to reach you. So let it be clean, my child. Let it be complete. Let it be finished. Do not hold funerals in your mind for what I have already ended. Do not keep the door cracked open just in case when I am telling you it is time to close it fully. Some goodbyes are not punishment. They are proof that you are moving. Some distance is not hatred. It is alignment. And some silence is not loss. It is me escorting you out of what cannot go. Breathe, my beloved. You are not losing what you need. You are releasing what cannot follow. And as you let me remove what is misaligned, I will fill the space with what is ordained. I will replace the counterfeit with the covenant. I will replace draining connections with destiny connections. I will replace restless cycles with steady peace. And you will look back and realize what left was not your covering. What left was not your future. What left was what would have delayed you. And now, my beloved, here is the third sign that I am moving, even when nothing looks different on the surface. I am quieting your environment so you can hear my next instruction. You have noticed it. The calendar that used to be full has space in it now. The constant invitations have slowed down. The group chats are quieter. The plans that used to pull you out of yourself every night are not happening the same way. Even the distractions you used to run to noise, entertainment, endless conversation, constant checking, constant comparing, suddenly feel less satisfying, almost like they cannot hold your attention anymore. And you are looking around at this strange stillness, wondering if something is wrong. Listen carefully, because I am going to name what you have been feeling. Your mind has called it loneliness. Your emotions have called it being left out. Your insecurity has called it, maybe they forgot about me. Maybe I'm not wanted. Maybe I'm not important. And at night, when the room is quiet and you can hear your own thoughts again, you have felt that ache rise in your chest, that temptation to reach for anything that will make you feel connected, anything that will make you feel chosen, anything that will fill the silence so you do not have to sit with it. But hear me clearly, this is not me abandoning you. This is me clearing you. Because I cannot give you a precise instruction in a crowded atmosphere. I cannot whisper direction while you are surrounded by competing voices. I cannot lead you into your next season while you are still letting everyone else hold the microphone in your mind. Some of you have been living with so much input that you could not tell the difference between my peace and your preference, between my voice and your fear, between my timing and your impatience. So I have been reducing the noise not to punish you, but to protect your hearing. Understand this. I am not only removing what cannot follow you, I am quieting what cannot guide you. There are conversations you kept entertaining that were feeding confusion. There are opinions you kept collecting that were weakening your faith. There are voices you kept giving weight to that were never authorized to shape your decisions. And you wondered why you felt drained after talking, why you felt anxious after scrolling, why you felt unsettled after explaining yourself. My child, it is because too many sounds were fighting for the same space, and I love you enough to bring order. There is an instruction I want to place in your spirit. There is a next step that requires clarity, not chaos. There is a move that will not be sustained by hype. It will be sustained by obedience. And I know you. You are sensitive. You feel deeply. You pick up atmospheres quickly. You can walk into a room and carry home what was never yours to carry. So I have been teaching you something through this quiet. Not every invitation is alignment. Not every conversation deserves access. Not every environment is safe for your spirit. And if I am about to elevate you, then I must first teach you how to hear me above the noise of people, above the noise of fear, above the noise of your own overthinking. Some of you keep saying, "God, why is it so quiet?" And I am answering you now, because I am about to speak. Some of you keep saying, "God, why do I feel alone?" And I am answering you now, because I am drawing you close. You have been asking me for direction, but you have also been drowning it out. You have been asking me for clarity, but you have been surrounding yourself with confusion. You have been asking me for a new season, but you have been keeping your life so loud that you cannot receive the details that will carry you through the door when it opens. So let me correct you gently. Stop interpreting quiet as rejection. Stop calling solitude a curse when I am using it as a sanctuary. I am quieting your environment so you can finally hear what you have been too busy to receive. There are instructions that only come when you are still. There are warnings that only surface when you stop rushing. There are confirmations that you only recognize when you are not distracted by constant movement. And I know the world taught you that being busy means being valuable, that being surrounded means being loved, that constant activity means you are doing something. But I am teaching you a higher truth. Being still with me is not wasting time. It is alignment. Now hear the instruction that will keep you from delaying yourself in this season of quiet. Protect your inner room. Guard the space where I meet you. Less arguing, my child. Less defending. Less explaining. You have been spending your strength trying to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding you, and it has been stealing your clarity. You have been narrating your process to those who do not have the maturity to handle it, and it has been opening doors to doubt and interference. Be wise. Everyone does not need an update. Everyone does not need a seat at the table of your next decision. Everyone does not need to know what I am doing in you before it is finished. So do not rush to fill the quiet with noise just because silence makes you uncomfortable. Do not run back to the same circles just to feel familiar. Do not chase invitations that cost you your peace. Do not reopen conversations I have quieted. Do not force yourself into rooms where you must perform to be tolerated. This is a holy quiet. This is a sacred pause. This is me turning down the volume so you can hear the footsteps of what is coming. And I am telling you this because I see the temptation rising. When it gets quiet, you want to move. When it gets still, you want to force a door. When you cannot see progress, you want to create progress. But do not rush ahead of me, my beloved. Do not try to manufacture momentum. There is a difference between obedience and anxiety. Anxiety runs fast with no direction. Obedience moves when I speak. And right now, I am teaching you to recognize my timing not by pressure, but by peace. Stay near, my child. Stay watchful. Stay soft. Let the quiet do its work in you. Let it cleanse your hearing. Let it expose the voices you relied on too much. Let it reveal the places where you were addicted to stimulation instead of anchored in faith. Because when I speak the next instruction, it will not be confusing. It will not be competing. It will not require you to beg for clarity. It will land in your spirit with the weight of truth, and you will know it is me. This stillness is not emptiness. It is order. This solitude is not abandonment. It is intimacy. And this quiet is not a sign that nothing is happening. It is a sign that I am preparing you to move with precision. So be still long enough to hear me. And when I tell you what to do next, you will not miss it, because the noise that used to drown me out will no longer have authority in your life. And now, my beloved child, here is the fourth sign that I am moving even when nothing looks different on the outside. I am stirring a holy restlessness in you because your old season cannot hold you anymore. You have been trying to name it. You have been asking yourself, why do I feel unsettled when nothing is technically wrong? Why do I feel irritated by what I used to tolerate? Why do I feel like I'm done, even though I don't have the next thing in my hands yet? You wake up, and something in you is stretching. You go through the motions, but your spirit is not resting in the same places. You sit in the same conversations, and it feels like you are watching yourself from the outside, thinking, this is not me anymore. You repeat the same cycle and it tastes dry. You try to laugh at what you used to laugh at, and you cannot fake it. You try to pretend you are satisfied, and your soul will not cooperate. Listen carefully. That discomfort is not instability. That stirring is not you being ungrateful. That restlessness is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you are being relocated. It is me putting pressure on what is too small for you now, so you stop calling a container blessing when it can no longer sustain what I am growing inside you. You keep thinking you need a dramatic sign in the sky, but I have been speaking through your hunger. I have been speaking through your irritation with the same old compromises. I have been speaking through the way your spirit flinches at what you used to excuse. I have been speaking through the way you can no longer make peace with what is misaligned. Because your old soil cannot feed your next fruit. The place that nourished you before cannot nourish you now. The routine that helped you survive cannot help you thrive. The version of you that kept the peace by shrinking is not the version of you I am elevating. And some of you are experiencing this restlessness in very practical ways. The job that once felt secure now feels like a ceiling. The relationship that once felt exciting now feels like a weight. The friendships that once felt fun now feel like a drain. The habits that once felt harmless now feel heavy. And you have been asking me to make you comfortable again, and I am telling you gently but firmly, I am not going to comfort you back into what I have already graduated you from. I am stirring you because I love you. I am stirring you because I refuse to let you settle into a life that only looks peaceful because you have learned how to ignore your own conviction. I am stirring you because the calling on your life will not fit inside the old agreements you made with fear. I am stirring you because you keep asking me for more, but you keep trying to carry more with old mindsets, old appetites, old language, old attachments. And it will not work. It cannot work, not because you are failing, but because you are growing. And hear me, my child, because this is where the enemy tries to lie to you. He tries to tell you that restlessness means you are inconsistent. He tries to tell you that you always want something new, that you can never be satisfied, that you are too much, too intense, too deep, too serious, too sensitive. But I am telling you the truth. You were never too much. You were simply ahead of your time. You were carrying a future while living among people who were comfortable staying in the past. You were hearing my invitation while others were still negotiating their excuses. You were sensing change before it became visible, and that is why you felt out of place. That is why you felt misunderstood. That is why you felt like you did not belong in rooms that everyone else seemed to enjoy. It was not pride. It was not rebellion. It was discernment. It was assignment. It was my hand on your life, marking you as different because you are. So do not shame yourself for outgrowing what once held you. Do not grieve like you are losing your mind when you are actually gaining clarity. There are things you used to call normal that I am now calling beneath you. There are cycles you used to call just life that I am now calling chains. There are patterns you used to call personality that I am now calling protection mechanisms that are no longer needed. And when those old coping systems start to fail, you panic. Because you think you are falling apart, but you are not falling apart. You are being pulled forward. You are being weaned from what you leaned on. You are being strengthened to stand without crutches you once required. Now listen to me, because I am going to protect you with instruction. Do not numb this discomfort. Do not sedate this stirring. Do not rush to medicate your restlessness with distraction, with entertainment, with scrolling, with food, with impulsive spending, with another situationship, with another unnecessary conversation, with another busy schedule that keeps you from hearing what I am saying. Do not call it self-care when you are actually avoiding obedience. I am not condemning you. My beloved, I am guiding you, because many delay their breakthrough right here. They feel the holy restlessness, and instead of letting it lead them into pruning and clarity, they run back to what is familiar to quiet the feeling. They return to old circles to feel normal. They reopen old doors to feel wanted. They take on more noise to avoid the still small voice. But I am telling you, the restlessness is a compass. Let it point. Let it expose what must be cut away. Let it reveal where you have been tolerating what I never authorized. Let it show you where you have been living on autopilot, repeating cycles that keep you busy but not fruitful. Ask me, Father, what are you stirring in me? And then be brave enough to listen to the answer. Because sometimes the answer is not a new door, it is a new discipline. Sometimes the answer is not a new environment, it is a new boundary. Sometimes the answer is not a new opportunity, it is a new identity, a new standard, a new yes, and a new no. Some of you have been praying for me to change your life, and I have been trying to change your appetite. Some of you have been praying for me to move you, and I have been moving you from the inside first. I am teaching you to be dissatisfied with what keeps you small. I am teaching you to be allergic to compromise. I am teaching you to recognize dryness as a mercy, because if it stayed sweet, you would have stayed too long. If it stayed comfortable, you would have called stagnation stability and built a house in a place I only intended as a stopping point. So receive this restlessness as confirmation. You are not stuck. You are being stretched. You are not unstable. You are being awakened. You are not losing peace. You are losing tolerance for what steals peace. And that is a gift. That is me, pulling you out of the old season with a holy dissatisfaction. So you do not need a crisis to make you move. I am inviting you into courageous obedience before pain becomes the teacher. And I will be with you as you obey. I will not leave you, nor forsake you. I will guide you with my eye upon you. I will give you wisdom for the pruning, strength for the transition, and peace that does not depend on your circumstances. But you must stop apologizing for growth. You must stop negotiating with what I have already told you to outgrow. You must stop calling your conviction overthinking when it is my spirit pressing on you, saying, "Come up higher." So breathe, my beloved. Do not be afraid of this stirring. Let it do its work. Let it separate you from the old taste. Let it pull you from the old cycles. Let it loosen your grip on what you have outgrown. Because this restlessness is not here to torment you. It is here to move you. It is the sound of your next season calling you. And if you will follow me through the discomfort with clean hands and a willing heart, you will realize that what felt like unsettledness was actually alignment beginning to take shape. And now, my beloved child, here is the fifth sign that I am moving, even when nothing looks different on the outside. I am giving you unusual confirmation, small, repeated, unignorable. You have been noticing it, even if you tried to dismiss it. The same word keeps showing up. The same theme keeps circling back. The same scripture keeps finding you on someone's mouth, on a page you randomly turn to, in a song that plays at the exact moment your mind starts to doubt again. Numbers you never cared about suddenly follow you on the clock, on receipts, on license plates, like little taps on your shoulder, like a gentle insistence that says, "Pay attention." And you thought, "Am I imagining this?" You wondered if you were reaching, if you were reading into things, if you were becoming one of those people who sees signs in everything. But I am telling you plainly, I know how to reach you. I know how to speak to you in a way your spirit recognizes. Some of you have been praying in secret, and then you stepped into a conversation that mirrored your prayer so precisely it made your chest tighten. Someone said the very sentence you said to me in the dark. Someone described the very fear you have been hiding. Someone encouraged you in the very area where you have been growing weary, and you walked away trying to act normal, but something inside you whispered, "That was for me." Yes, my child, that was for you. Because I am not only working behind the scenes, I am also strengthening you in the waiting. So you do not confuse delay with denial, and you do not interpret silence as absence, and you do not call preparation being forgotten. There are confirmations I send that are gentle, like dew, a phrase that lands on you and stays, a sermon clip that answers a question you did not ask out loud, a dream that repeats, not once, but again and again, until you stop brushing it off and start bringing it to me. A nudge in your spirit to go back and reread something, to reach out to someone, to take one small step of obedience that you have been postponing. And there are confirmations I send that are undeniable, like thunder. You hear the same instruction from different mouths who do not know each other. You receive the same word in different places on the same day. You keep encountering the same message until you realize it is not coincidence, it is alignment. Hear me carefully. I do not confirm things to entertain you. I do not send repetition so you can chase a feeling. I send confirmation for steadiness. I send it as reinforcement for the day your emotions try to rewrite what I said. I send it because I know how quickly the human heart can drift when it cannot measure progress. I know how your mind starts building worst-case stories when the calendar turns and nothing has changed on the surface. So I place little markers on your path. I place reminders in your week. I place witnesses in your ordinary day. And each time you see it again, it is me saying, stay the course. Keep your hands clean. Keep your heart soft. Keep your yes available. I have not changed my mind. And I am not only confirming externally, I am confirming internally. Because you have begun to notice a shift in you that you cannot manufacture. Fear still knocks. Yes, you still have moments where your thoughts race. You still feel the temptation to hurry, to fix, to control. But peace keeps returning. Not because everything is resolved, but because I am anchoring you. You recover faster now. You do not spiral for as long. You do not react the way you used to. You do not have to prove yourself in every room. You do not have to defend yourself in every comment. You are learning how to breathe, and let me be God. You are learning how to pause before you answer. You are learning how to stop entertaining every anxious thought like it deserves a seat at the table. That is confirmation too, my beloved. That is evidence that you are being strengthened for what you prayed for. Because what I am bringing will require a steadier you. What I am opening will require discernment, not desperation. What I am releasing will require maturity, not mood. So when you notice that you are less reactive, that you are less impressed, that you are less easily thrown off by small setbacks, do not overlook that. That is me. When you notice that you can be disappointed and still not be destroyed, that you can be corrected and still not collapse, that you can be in a waiting season and still feel held, that is me. I am building your capacity so that when the door opens, you do not lose yourself in the movement. I am building your roots so that when the wind of change comes, you do not fall over. Now, I am going to give you instruction, because confirmation can become a trap if you handle it with impatience. Write it down, my child. Keep record of what I have repeated, not so you can obsess, but so you can remember on the days doubt gets loud. When I confirm something to you through a word, through a scripture, through a dream, through counsel, through a pattern, honor it, treasure it, hold it with reverence, because the enemy will try to steal it by making you question yourself later. He will try to whisper, that wasn't God, that was coincidence, that was just your emotions. And when you have it written, when you have it remembered, when you have it stored, you will be able to answer him with confidence. My Father has spoken, and he has repeated himself. But do not turn confirmation into impatience. Do not take what I am using to steady you and use it to pressure me. Some of you receive one repeated sign and then you start watching the clock. You start demanding timelines. You start poking doors. You start forcing conversations. You start overanalyzing every detail, trying to make the promise arrive on your schedule. Listen to me. Repetition is not permission to rush. Confirmation is not a command to sprint. It is a gift to help you endure. It is me strengthening your faith so you can keep walking with clean hands until the moment of release. So when you see it again, do not panic. When you hear it again, do not strain. When you notice the pattern, do not start wrestling for control. Simply say, yes, Lord, I receive. I will stay aligned. Let it build you, not agitate you. Let it anchor you, not accelerate you into anxiety. Because I am not only preparing the door, I am preparing your timing with the door. I am not only arranging the opportunity, I am arranging you to meet it with wisdom. And hear me, my beloved, the fact that I am confirming it means it is near enough to require reinforcement. I do not keep repeating what is dead. I do not keep highlighting what is empty. I do not keep circling back to what I am not doing. Repeated confirmation is me strengthening you for the moment you prayed for. It is me putting courage in your bones. It is me keeping your eyes lifted when your environment looks unchanged. It is me reminding you that heaven is not confused about your address. I know exactly where you are. I know exactly what you asked me for, and I know exactly when to release it in perfect alignment. So, stay sensitive, but stay steady. Stay expectant, but stay submitted. Let the small confirmations become a song of assurance in you, not a drum of impatience in you. And when the enemy tries to tell you nothing is happening, you will be able to answer with quiet confidence. My Father has been speaking. My Father has been confirming. And what he has promised, he is faithful to perform. Now pause, my beloved. Do not rush past this moment like it is just another sentence. Breathe, and let your spirit come into agreement with what I have been saying to you. Because there is a difference between hearing a word and receiving a word. There is a difference between being comforted for a moment and being aligned for a season. And I am not speaking to you so you can feel something and then go back to anxiety. I am speaking to you so your faith can take its rightful place again before you see evidence, before the door swings open, before the phone rings, before the paper is signed, before the money lands, before the apology comes, before the yes arrives. Hear me, agreement is not a small thing. Agreement is a spiritual positioning. When you agree with me, you stop partnering with the fear that says, nothing is happening. You stop feeding the narrative that says, I'm forgotten. You stop rehearsing the doubt that says, it's too late. Agreement is how you make room in your inner world for what I am doing in the unseen. Because some of you keep praying for movement, but then you speak as if I am absent. You keep asking me for breakthrough, but you think like delay is denial. My child, I am calling you higher than that. I am calling you to align your mouth with your miracle. So I am going to ask you for one small sacred action right now, not because I need it, but because you need to mark this moment in your own heart. If you are choosing trust over anxiety in this waiting season, then like this video as a sign of agreement. Let it be your quiet yes. Let it be your decision in the presence of pressure. Let it be your way of saying, I will not spiral today. I will not interpret silence as absence. I will not run ahead of God. I will stay aligned. Some of you have been letting your fingers move faster than your faith, scrolling, searching, comparing, chasing. So today, I am using even this simple act to slow you down and bring you back under my covering. Choose trust, choose steadiness, choose peace. And now, I want you to speak with me, not later, not when you feel brave, not when you have proof now, because faith speaks first. Faith agrees first. Faith stands up while circumstances are still sitting down. Comment this declaration where you can see it again. God is working behind the scenes for my breakthrough. Yes, write it. Not as a wish, but as agreement. Not as a performance, but as a prophecy over your own life. Let your words become a boundary against doubt. Let your confession become a wall against the enemy's whisper. Because when you declare what is true, you train your heart to recognize my fingerprints on days that look ordinary. And hear me clearly, my beloved, when you put that declaration in the open, you are not informing me. I already know what I am doing. You are reminding your own soul. You are giving your faith something to hold. You are planting a stake in the ground that says, even if nothing looks different yet, I will not call God inactive. Even if I cannot measure it yet, I will not call it dead. Even if I cannot explain it yet, I will not panic. Agreement is not denial of reality. It is alignment with higher reality. It is you choosing my perspective over your pressure. Now I am also calling you to stay near. Some of you receive one instruction, then you disappear back into the noise, and you wonder why you keep missing the next step. But I am guiding you line by line, season by season, door by door. So subscribe, my child, not out of habit, but as a decision to remain under ongoing guidance, so you do not miss the next instruction I send you. Because I do not only speak once, I lead continually, and I know how quickly your mind can get crowded again. I know how quickly life can distract you again, so stay close, stay covered, stay teachable, stay in the posture that says, Father, if you speak, I will listen. If you direct, I will move. If you say wait, I will not force. And one more thing, because I am protective over more than just you, I am protective over those connected to you. Some of you have someone on your heart right now, someone who has been saying, nothing is changing, someone who has been growing tired, someone who has been quiet lately, someone who has been trying to smile while their hope is thinning. Do not announce it. Do not argue with them. Do not preach at them in frustration. Just send this to one person in silence, as an act of love, as an act of covering, as a gentle rope thrown into the fog, because I am not only strengthening you, I am gathering my people. I am reminding them that I am still moving. I am still closing doors that would harm them. I am still removing what cannot follow. I am still quieting environments. I am still stirring holy restlessness. I am still confirming what I promised. So pause and agree with me, my beloved. Let your engagement be your alignment. Let your action be your amen. Let your declaration go before your evidence. And as you do, you will begin to notice what you could not see when you were anxious. You will recognize the small shifts, the protected no's, the quieted distractions, the loosening attachments, the repeated confirmations. Because agreement in faith positions your heart to recognize what I am already doing. And what I am doing is not slowing down. It is not falling apart. It is aligning. It is preparing, it is arranging, and your breakthrough will arrive in perfect order at the appointed time, with nothing missing and nothing wasted. Now listen closely, my beloved, because this is where your mind tries to betray you. This is where you look at the same calendar, the same room, the same bank account, the same relationship status, the same unanswered email, and you say, nothing is moving. But I am telling you plainly, I have been moving the entire time. You are not watching an empty screen. You are watching a hidden workshop. And the work I am doing where you cannot see is often more important than what you can currently measure. There are things I will not build in public because they would be attacked before they are fortified. There are doors I will not open while you are still tender in the places you pretend do not hurt. There are blessings I will not release while you are still tempted to worship them, while you are still craving validation more than obedience, while you are still negotiating with fear and calling it wisdom. So when you feel a pause, do not assume absence. When you feel delay, do not assume denial. Delay does not mean I have changed my mind. Delay often means I am strengthening the foundation so what I promised you will not crush you when it arrives. You keep asking me for visible movement, but I am aligning timing, because the promise is not only about what happens, it is about when it happens. You want it quickly, but I want it correctly. You want it now, but I want it to last. And if I brought you into it prematurely, you would celebrate for a moment and then collapse under the weight of what you prayed for. So I slow you, not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. I hold you, not to punish you, but to protect you. I am not keeping you from good. I am keeping you from breaking. Behind the scenes, I am moving people's hearts in ways you cannot manage. I am turning conversations you are not in. I am shifting perception in rooms you have never entered. I am arranging favor with individuals you have not met yet. I am placing your name on the right lips at the right time, and I am also removing your name from the wrong lips, so you are not discussed by those who would mishandle you. I am working through systems, policies, schedules, approvals, and processes that seem slow to you, but I know exactly how long each part must take, so everything aligns without strain. And yes, I am closing certain routes because I refuse to let you arrive exposed. You called it almost. You called it, I was so close. But I called it mercy. I called it protection. Because some of you were asking for the door, but you were not yet ready for the room behind the door. You were ready for the announcement, but not for the scrutiny. You were ready for the opportunity, but not for the responsibility. You were ready for the relationship, but not for the maturity it would require. So I interrupted what you thought was progress, and I hid you, and I trained you, so when you step out again, you will not step out fragile. This is what I am doing in you, while you think nothing is moving. I am renovating the places where you keep getting triggered. I am healing the wound that keeps making you over-explain. I am touching the rejection that keeps making you perform. I am addressing the abandonment that keeps making you cling. I am weakening the need to be chosen by people who do not have the capacity to value you. I am teaching you how to be steady when you are not applauded, how to be obedient when you are not understood, how to be peaceful when you cannot control the outcome. I am strengthening your boundaries, my child, not so you become hard, but so you become holy, not so you become distant, but so you become discerning. Because where I am taking you, you cannot afford to keep giving access to everyone who asks. You cannot keep confusing attention with alignment. You cannot keep calling chaos chemistry. You cannot keep letting guilt talk you into doors I have already closed. So if you have noticed that you say no faster now, that you do not answer every call, that you do not tolerate certain tones, that you do not laugh at what grieves my spirit, that is not you becoming cold. That is you becoming free. That is you becoming safe to carry what I am about to place in your hands. And I am purifying your motives. Hear me, because I say this with tenderness. Some of you wanted the breakthrough so you could finally feel worthy. You wanted the increase so you could finally feel secure. You wanted the platform so you could finally feel seen. You wanted the relationship so you could finally feel chosen. But I am teaching you to be chosen before the ring, secure before the deposit, worthy before the applause, steady before the door. Because if you enter the promise still starving for what only I can give you, you will make the promise your God, and it will never satisfy you. So I am removing desperation. I am removing the panic. I am removing the striving that says, if I don't force it, I'll lose it. You will not lose what I ordained. You will not miss what I scheduled. You can miss peace by rushing, but you will not miss me by trusting. So do not confuse silence with stagnation. Do not confuse a pause with a problem. Sometimes what looks like stuck is set. Sometimes what looks like nothing is actually a restraint that prevents collapse. Because I would rather hold you for a season than pick you up from pieces later. I would rather slow you with my hand than let you speed into a lesson you never needed. I would rather build you quietly than expose you loudly. And I know, my beloved, that it has been hard to trust what you cannot track. I know you have been tempted to measure your life by what you can post, by what you can prove, by what you can point to and say, "See, it's working." But I am calling you into a deeper faith than that. I am calling you into the kind of trust that rests while I work, because I do not only work in what you can see, I work in the hidden, I work in the roots, I work in the timing, I work in the details that will make your breakthrough sustainable, not just sensational. So breathe, let your shoulders drop, let your spirit unclench. You are not behind, you are not forgotten, you are not being teased with a promise that will never arrive. I am building, I am arranging, I am aligning, I am protecting you from premature exposure, and I am preparing your heart to carry what you ask me for with wisdom and humility and steadiness. Stay with me in the hidden workshop, my child. Do not despise the quiet, do not resent the process. Do not run out of the room because the hammering is uncomfortable. I am constructing something that will hold, and when I bring it into the light, it will look sudden to everyone else, but you will know the truth. It was built in secret, strengthened in silence, and released in perfect alignment. Now understand this clearly, my beloved. Because I am working behind the scenes does not mean you can move however you want in the front. I am building, yes. I am arranging, yes. I am aligning, yes. But there are traps that look like taking action that are actually you stepping out from under my timing. And I am saying this to protect you, not to shame you. Because I see the way your heart aches for relief. I see the way your mind says, if I just push a little harder, something will finally change. I see the way you are tempted to trade alignment for control. But hear me, you do not need to force what I have already scheduled. The first trap is forcing. Forcing looks like you rushing a door I have not opened, then calling the resistance spiritual warfare, when it is actually my hand holding you back. Forcing looks like you pressing people for answers they are not ready to give, cornering conversations, demanding definitions, trying to pull clarity out of someone who has not yet been made clear. Forcing looks like you manipulating outcomes with anxiety, sending the extra text, making the extra call, revising the same plan 10 times, overextending your money, overpromising your energy, trying to secure with your hands what can only be secured by my word. And you call it diligence, but it is desperation. You call it wisdom, but it is fear dressed in strategy. Listen carefully. When you force, you can create a counterfeit timing. You can make something happen that looks like an answer, but it will not carry my peace. It will require constant maintenance, constant chasing, constant proving, because it was birthed outside of rest. And I did not call you to live anxious over what you prayed for. I did not call you to keep resuscitating what I never breathed on. My child, what I open does not need to be pried apart. What I schedule does not need your panic to arrive. If it is mine, it will come with alignment, not exhaustion. So here is your instruction in place of forcing. Wait for my green light, and when I say move, move clean. Do not run ahead of me, and do not lag behind me. Stay close enough to hear the whisper, because my whisper will save you from loud regret. The second trap is settling. Settling is what happens when you are tired of the ache, and you start calling almost good enough. Settling looks like accepting less just to stop feeling exposed. It looks like staying where you are tolerated instead of where you are assigned. It looks like saying, at least they picked me, at least this pays something, at least I'm not alone, while your spirit is shrinking and your joy is leaking and your peace is constantly interrupted. Settling is not always obvious, my beloved, because it often comes wrapped in logic. You start building a case for your disobedience. You start convincing yourself that what drains you is what you deserve. You start negotiating with disappointment because you are afraid to hope again. But I am telling you plainly, I did not preserve you through what I brought you through just to place you in a half-life. I did not teach you to discern just so you could ignore discernment when you feel lonely. I did not heal you so you could return to what broke you with better boundaries, but the same bondage. Some of you keep asking me for the promise, but you keep laying your head in the lap of the familiar. You keep renting space in rooms I already told you to leave. And you wonder why you feel heavy. You wonder why you feel dull. My child, it is not because you are ungrateful. It is because you are outgrowing what you keep trying to fit into. So here is your instruction in place of settling. Align. Align your choices with what I said, not with what you can tolerate. Align your standards with your calling, not with your fear of being alone. Align your yes with your assignment, and let your no be holy. Because where I am taking you, good enough will become a ceiling that delays you for years. And I love you too much to let you call a cage comfort just because it is familiar. If I removed you from certain people, patterns, and places, do not rebuild an altar to them in your mind. Do not return to what I delivered you from just to quiet the ache. The ache is not your enemy. The ache is the evidence that you were made for more. The third trap is explaining, and this one is subtle because it wears the clothing of innocence. You say, I just want to be understood. You say, I just want them to know my heart. You say, if I can explain it better, they will finally treat me differently. But hear me, my beloved, not everyone is called to hold your story. Not everyone has the capacity to honor your process. And when you keep trying to be understood by those who are committed to misunderstanding you, you bleed energy that was meant for obedience. You drain yourself trying to earn validation from people who cannot validate what they cannot discern. Some of you keep returning to the same conversations, the same debates, the same defending, the same over-explaining. You are writing paragraphs to people who have already decided. You are rehearsing your reasons to those who do not care about righteousness. You are trying to make your boundaries sound gentle enough that the manipulative will accept them. My child, when I called you out, I did not call you out to be voted in. When I separate you, I am not asking you to campaign for your own obedience. There are seasons where your life will be the explanation. There are seasons where silence is not avoidance, it is wisdom. There are seasons where the fruit will speak louder than the paragraphs. So here is your instruction in place of explaining. Obey quietly. Let your yes be yes, and let your no be no. Let me be your defender. Let me be the one who makes it plain. You do not have to announce every transition. You do not have to justify every boundary. You do not have to convince everyone that you heard me. If I sent you, I will sustain you. If I called you, I will confirm you. And the ones who are assigned to you will not require you to bleed to be believed. The ones who are from me will recognize what is on you without you performing for it. Now hear me as I gather this. My beloved, forcing will tempt you to move without me. Settling will tempt you to stay without me. Explaining will tempt you to speak without me. And all three can delay what I already appointed, not because I am fragile, not because my promise is weak, but because I love you enough to not bless misalignment. I will not speed you into what your soul cannot sustain. I will not let you call anxiety effort and think it is faith. I will not let you trade your future for immediate relief. So I am correcting you with tenderness. Put your hands down. Release the outcome. Stop negotiating with what I already said no to. Stop performing for people who are not your assignment. Wait, and do it with worship. Align, and do it with humility. Obey quietly, and do it with courage. And then, my child, let the fruit speak later. Let the breakthrough answer the questions you are tired of answering. Let the open door silence the mockery. Let the consistency prove what the critics could not comprehend. You do not need to force what I have already scheduled. Stay under my timing, and you will arrive with peace. Stay under my instruction, and you will not have to recover from your own decisions. I am not only bringing you to the door, I am bringing you through it in alignment, with clean hands, a steady heart, and nothing missing. Now, my beloved, since I have told you what not to do, I will tell you what to do because I am not the author of confusion, and I will not leave you standing in a hallway with no instruction. The waiting is not a punishment. The waiting is a place of alignment. And alignment is how you move with me without rushing ahead of me. Because some of you think that if you are not sprinting, you are failing. Some of you think that if you are not checking, tracking, refreshing, and reaching, then you are wasting time. But hear me, I do not measure your readiness by your panic. I measure your readiness by your posture. So I am giving you 5 alignments, simple, holy, steady, that accelerate without striving, that prepare you without pressure, that keep you close enough to hear me when I whisper, now. The first alignment is daily surrender, not once, daily. Because your flesh will want control again tomorrow, and fear will try to rewrite what faith agreed to today. So you will wake up, and before you pick up the phone, before you check the account, before you scan the room for what has changed, you will offer me your timeline. You will say, "Father, I trust your timing more than my timeline." Not as a sentence you repeat mechanically, but as a surrender you mean. Some of you keep asking me to be Lord of the outcome, but you still want to be Lord of the schedule, and that is why you keep feeling strained. So give me your dates, give me your deadlines, give me the version of the story you scripted in your mind. Put it in my hands again and again, because when you surrender daily, you stop worshiping speed, you stop partnering with urgency that did not come from me. You begin to recognize that peace is not passive. Peace is proof that you are walking with me. The second alignment is obedient pruning. Hear me carefully, because this is where I protect your breakthrough from being consumed by what drains you. In the waiting, I will show you what is stealing your peace habits that numb you, conversations that agitate you, access you gave to people who mishandle you, environments that keep your spirit loud with anxiety. And I am not calling you to prune because I am trying to take joy from you. I'm calling you to prune because I am guarding what I'm growing in you. Some of you keep praying for increase while feeding what decreases you. You keep asking for clarity while staying in noise. You keep asking for strength while agreeing with patterns that weaken you. So obey me here. Remove what drains peace. Close the tab that spirals you. Silence the voice that stirs comparison. Step back from the relationship that requires you to betray your own discernment. Change the environment that keeps pulling you back into the old you. Not because those things are always evil, but because they are not aligned with where I am taking you. And do not call it loss when I tell you to cut it off. Call it room. Call it readiness. Call it obedience that makes space for what can actually stay. The third alignment is consistent preparation. My child, what you are praying for will demand something from you. It will demand stewardship. It will demand character. It will demand skill. It will demand endurance. And I love you enough to train you before the wait arrives. So in the waiting you practice, you learn, you build, you become consistent in secret. If you are asking me for a door, practice walking in integrity when no one is clapping. If you are asking me for increase, become faithful with what is already in your hands. If you are asking me for a platform, learn to carry responsibility without needing attention. If you are asking me for a healthy relationship, practice being healthy, communicating, forgiving, setting boundaries, honoring what I say even when your emotions are loud. Do not wait to be chosen to become ready. Do not wait for the opportunity to become disciplined, because what I release suddenly is sustained by what you practiced quietly. Preparation is not you trying to earn the promise. Preparation is you honoring it. Preparation is you saying, "Father, I believe you enough to get ready," as if it is real. The fourth alignment is holy patience. And yes, I said holy, because patience is not just a personality trait, it is spiritual maturity. Some of you have been checking for signs so obsessively that you cannot hear my voice. You keep refreshing the same page, revisiting the same conversation, rereading the same message, scanning every detail, asking, "Is this it? Is this it? Is this it?" And your heart is exhausted, not because I am not moving, but because you are trying to monitor what only faith can carry. Hear me. Stop checking the oven every 2 minutes and calling it discernment. Let peace be your pace. I will confirm what I need you to know. I will open what I need you to walk through. You do not have to chase proof. You do not have to hunt for hints. When it is time, it will be clear. When it is mine, it will come with steadiness, not franticness. So practice holy patience. Do what I told you today. And trust me with tomorrow. Remain present. Remain obedient. And when your mind starts running ahead, bring it back under my hand and say, "Father, I refuse to be rushed by fear." And the fifth alignment is gratitude in advance. This is how I keep you soft while you wait. This is how I keep bitterness from taking root in the soil, where your breakthrough is about to grow. Some of you have been so focused on what has not happened that you are overlooking what I have already sustained. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still standing after what should have crushed you. You are still carrying vision after disappointment. That is not small. That is grace. So thank me before the evidence. Thank me while the room still looks the same. Thank me while the calendar still feels slow, because gratitude is not denial. Gratitude is trust. Gratitude says, Father, I know you are good, even when I do not yet see the full picture. And gratitude keeps your heart tender enough to recognize the blessing when it arrives, not suspicious, not hardened, not waiting to be disappointed again. I am not asking you to pretend. I am asking you to praise from a place of relationship. I am asking you to remember who I have been to you. I am asking you to bless my name before the door opens, because you know I am the one who opens it. So hear me as I seal this instruction over you. Surrender daily, prune obediently, prepare consistently, practice holy patience, and give gratitude in advance. This is not striving. This is alignment. This is you walking with me, step by step, without rushing ahead, without lagging behind, without letting fear set the tempo. And as you align, you will notice something. You will feel lighter. You will feel clearer. You will feel steadier. Not because the breakthrough is far, but because you are finally moving at the speed of peace. And when the appointed moment arrives, and it will arrive, you will not step into it depleted and desperate. You will step into it ready. You will step into it whole. You will step into it with a heart that can sustain what your hands are about to hold. And yet, my beloved, even as you do these alignments, even as you practice patience and gratitude, I know what your heart has been carrying underneath your obedience. I know you can say the right words in the morning and still feel a heaviness in your chest by the afternoon. I know you can worship with your hands lifted and still go home to a quiet room that echoes with questions. I know you can encourage everyone else and still feel like your own soul is running on fumes. So listen to me tenderly now, because I did not only come to instruct you, I came to heal you. I see the tears you never posted. I see the smile you put on in public, the one that convinces people you are fine, the one that keeps them from asking too many questions, the one you wear because you are tired of explaining your pain. I see you laughing at the table while something in you is quietly breaking. I see you replying, I'm good, while your mind is replaying what didn't work, what didn't happen, what you thought would be different by now. I see the nights when the room goes dark, and the thoughts get loud when you stare at the ceiling. When you scroll without absorbing anything, when you whisper prayers that feel like they hit the same wall, when you wonder if you missed your moment, and you are too ashamed to say it out loud. I see the ache of the almost relationship, the almost opportunity, the almost breakthrough, the almost phone call, the almost yes. I see how that word has haunted you. I see how you have tried to make peace with disappointment by calling it maturity, when it was actually sorrow you never gave yourself permission to feel. And I see the way you have turned your pain inward, blaming yourself, asking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I get it right? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving and I'm still here? My child, come closer. Let me speak clearly over that wound. Nothing was wrong with you. You were being refined, not rejected. You were being prepared, not punished. You were being guarded, not forgotten. Do not call yourself late when I was saving you from being early. Do not call yourself overlooked when I was hiding you from eyes that would have misused you. Do not call it failure when I was teaching you endurance. Some of what you called loss was me removing what could not follow you. Some of what you called delay was me aligning what you could not align with human effort. Some of what you called silence was me keeping you from noise that would have confused you. And yes, it hurt, because pruning hurts, separation hurts, growing pains hurt. But pain is not proof that I left you. Pain is often proof that I am healing what you kept surviving around. Hear me, chosen does not mean easy. Chosen means guided. Chosen means guarded. Chosen means I will not let you remain in what would slowly destroy you just because it is familiar. Chosen means I will correct you when you drift, and I will comfort you when you are tired, and I will carry you when you have reached the end of your own strength. Chosen means you may feel misunderstood in rooms where your spirit cannot pretend. Chosen means you will outgrow what once fit. Chosen means you will be stretched, not to break you, but to increase your capacity to hold what you have been praying for without losing your peace. And I know you have been tired, not only in your body, but in your hope. Tired of starting over, tired of being strong, tired of being patient, tired of watching the calendar move while your prayer feels suspended, tired of feeling like you have to be courageous every single day. You have been carrying faith and fatigue in the same hands. You have been worshiping and weeping in the same breath. You have been saying, I trust you, while your heart quietly asks, how much longer? And I am not offended by that question, my beloved. Bring it to me. Do not hide your humanity from the one who formed you. Let me remove the shame you put on top of your pain. You are not weak because you are weary. You are not faithless because you have felt discouraged. You are not disqualified because you have had moments where you questioned if it would ever happen. I see how hard you have tried to keep going. I see how you kept showing up while you felt empty. I see how you kept choosing obedience when your emotions begged you to choose escape. And I am telling you now, I am turning what you thought was breaking you into strength. Not a hard strength that makes you cold, but a holy strength that makes you steady. Not a bitter strength that keeps you guarded from love, but a wise strength that keeps you guarded from deception. So, receive this as balm for your soul. I have not wasted your tears. I have not ignored your prayers. I have not forgotten your name. I have been collecting what you thought fell to the ground unnoticed, and I am using it to water the very thing you are waiting to see. The sorrow has been softening you, not ruining you. The pressure has been shaping you, not crushing you. The waiting has been training you, not trapping you. And even now, while you still feel the tenderness, I am strengthening your inner man. I am rebuilding your confidence. I am restoring your ability to hope without fear of disappointment. And because you need hope that is not vague, because your heart needs something to hold on to, I will speak this promise over you with clarity. There will be confirmation. There will be clarity. There will be movement you cannot stop. There will be doors that open without you begging. There will be calls returned. There will be answers that come with peace. There will be alignment that feels like breath in your lungs again. You will not have to chase what is ordained. You will not have to force what is appointed. When the moment comes, it will not require you to betray your dignity to receive it. It will come with my hand on it. It will come with steadiness. It will come with an assurance that quiets your anxious mind and makes you say, this is it. This is what God has been doing. So rest, my beloved, not the kind of rest that quits, but the kind of rest that trusts. Let your shoulders drop again. Let your jaw unclench. Let your heart stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. You did not miss your moment. I am the keeper of times and seasons, and I am not late concerning you. What I promised is still mine to fulfill, and I am still the one who opens doors no one can shut. Stay tender, stay honest, stay close. And when the tears come, do not punish yourself. For them, bring them to me, because I am not turning them into shame. I am turning them into strength. And hear me now, my beloved, because this is where many of my children become confused. What I am about to do in your life will look sudden to the eyes of people who did not have to live inside your process. They will see the open door, and they will not see the years. They will see the yes, and they will not see the no's. I made you survive. They will see the favor, and they will not see the pruning. They will see the fruit, and they will not see the root. And some will call it luck. Some will call it overnight. Some will say, must be nice. But I am telling you the truth right now. There is nothing accidental about what I have been building. It was alignment. It was timing. It was obedience when you did not feel strong. It was tears you cried in secret that watered your faith. It was the quiet decisions to walk away, to shut the door, to forgive, to start over, to keep worshiping when you were tired. It was you choosing peace over proving. It was you saying yes to me when no one was clapping. And when I unveil it, it will look sudden, because I do not unveil until it is ready. Understand this clearly. I do not reveal halfway work. I do not announce what still needs to be protected. I do not expose what is still tender. Some of you have interpreted the public silence as being forgotten. You looked around and you saw others being celebrated, others being chosen, others being posted, others being called, and you whispered, what about me? My child, you were not forgotten. You were covered. You were hidden, not as punishment, but as protection. Because there are hands that would have touched it too early. There are voices that would have spoken over it too soon. There are opinions that would have tried to name it before it had a name from me, and I will not allow premature exposure to interrupt what I promised. So I let it be quiet. I let it be private. I let it be between me and you, not because I was doing nothing, but because I was doing something delicate, something that needed shelter, something that needed time, something that could not grow in constant observation. I was finishing what you could not finish with effort. I was closing gaps you could not see. I was removing what would have sabotaged you later. I was correcting your posture, strengthening your discernment, healing your appetite, training your tongue, teaching your hands stewardship, teaching your heart how to hold blessing without panic. And while it looked like nothing was happening, I was building infrastructure in you, because the next season is not only a gift, it is a government. It carries weight, it carries responsibility, it carries new demands, and I love you enough to make you ready before I make you visible. So when the breakthrough arrives, do not be surprised if it comes quickly. Do not be shaken when the pace changes. You will look up and realize that the same God who allowed a slow season is also the God who can shift things in one conversation, one email, one meeting, one introduction, one moment. And it will feel like whiplash to your emotions if you are not rooted. That is why I trained you in patience, so you would not lose yourself when acceleration comes. That is why I taught you holy rest, so you would not become addicted to hustle when increase arrives. That is why I broke the need to announce everything, so you would not invite interference into what must be carried with wisdom. And hear me, my beloved, new territory requires new boundaries. Do not take old access into a new season. Do not take old explainers into a new assignment. Do not take old habits into a new level and expect peace to remain. Where I am taking you, you will need discernment that is sharper, not louder. You will need humility that is deeper, not performative. You will need a yes that is clean and a no that is holy, because people will be attracted to what I place on you. But not everyone is assigned to you. Some will come because they love the light. Some will come because they want to use the light. Some will come because they sense you are rising and they want proximity, but they do not want purity. So I am preparing you. You will not be able to carry this next season with people-pleasing. You will not be able to maintain it with over-explaining. You will not be able to steward it while trying to keep everyone comfortable. Your breakthrough will require maturity. It will require quiet confidence. It will require you to listen to me faster than you listen to the crowd. And do not forget this. When I lift you, you must stay low in your spirit. When I open doors, you must keep your heart open to correction. When I give you increase, you must remain teachable. Because pride is not only boasting, pride is thinking you can sustain what I gave you without staying close to me. So I am warning you with love. Do not turn your testimony into a trophy. Do not turn your blessing into a performance. Do not make an idol out of what I am placing in your hands. I am giving it to you, yes, but I am also keeping you. And the way you keep what I give is by staying near my voice. Now listen carefully. Do not announce early what I told you in secret. Some of you keep aborting peace because you talk before I finish. You share the seed before it becomes fruit. Then you spend your energy defending it, explaining it, fighting off doubt, fighting off opinions, fighting off jealousy, fighting off spiritual interference that you invited through premature exposure. My child, protect what I told you, treasure it, pray over it, prepare for it. But do not feel pressured to broadcast it to prove it is real. If it is from me, I will unveil it at the right moment, and I will unveil it in a way that cannot be denied. I will make room for it. I will make space for it. I will make the timing undeniable and the peace unmistakable. So stay steady in expectation. Not frantic expectation that demands a sign every hour, but steady expectation that says, Father, you are faithful, and I will keep doing what you told me today. Keep your lamp filled. Keep your hands clean. Keep your heart soft. Keep your yes ready. Because what I built in secret is about to be revealed in public at the exact appointed time. And when it happens, you will not have to convince anyone it was me. The alignment will speak. The fruit will speak. The peace will speak. And you will look back on this quiet season and finally understand, I was not delaying you. I was developing you. I was not ignoring you. I was insulating you. I was not withholding. I was preparing the unveiling. And it will look sudden to them, but you will know it was built with me, in secret, on purpose, and right on time. Now come closer, my beloved, and let me pray over you, because some of you have received the word, but your body is still tense. Your spirit agrees, but your mind keeps running ahead. You say, I trust you, and then you lie down, and your thoughts begin to torment you with timelines, with worst-case scenarios, with memories of what didn't work, with fear that you will be stuck forever. So I am not only speaking to you, I am covering you. I am not only instructing you, I am restoring you. And as you pray with me, understand this clearly. Prayer is not you begging me to notice you. Prayer is you aligning with what I am already doing, so your peace can catch up to my promise. Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift up your child, the one who feels stuck, the one who feels paused, the one whose environment looks unchanged while their heart is aching for movement. I ask you now, let your peace settle over them like a blanket. Silence the tormenting thoughts that visit them at night. Quiet the racing mind that keeps rehearsing fear. Break the cycle of checking, refreshing, scanning, and measuring, as if their safety depends on seeing proof every hour. Let the Spirit of the living God bring rest to their nervous system. I speak calm into their chest. I speak relief into their jaw. I speak loosening into their shoulders. I speak sleep that is not interrupted by dread. Your word says, you keep in perfect peace the one whose mind is stayed on you, so keep their mind, Father. Guard their thoughts. Place a holy boundary around their imagination, so it no longer partners with disaster. Let tonight be different. Let the night watches be healed. Let them lay down and not fear, and let their sleep be sweet. And Father, in Jesus' name, I ask you to protect them from counterfeits, relationships that look like the promise but poison the future, doors that look like acceleration but are actually distraction, opportunities that sound like favor but carry hidden compromise. My child has been tired, and when the heart is tired, it is tempted to settle. So I ask you, sharpen their discernment without making them suspicious. Teach them the difference between excitement and peace. Close every counterfeit door gently but firmly. Let what is not for them become impossible to maintain. Let what is not aligned lose its appeal. Expose every hidden motive that would try to attach itself to their destiny. Remove flattering voices that want access but not accountability. Disconnect them from anything that requires them to betray the standards you placed in them just to feel chosen. Father, keep them. Keep their heart clean. Keep their yes pure. Keep their desire submitted. Let them not be impressed by what is loud, and let them not be lured by what is fast. If it is not from you, let it not work, no matter how close it looks, no matter how convenient it seems, no matter how much it mimics what they prayed for. And now, Father, I ask for clarity. Your child does not need 1,000 signs. They need one clear instruction and the courage to obey it. So speak, Lord, through your word, through wise counsel, through the quiet witness of the Holy Spirit. Make the next step unmistakable. And when you speak, give them speed and obedience. Deliver them from delay that comes from overthinking. Deliver them from delay that comes from fear of being wrong. Deliver them from the need to consult 10 opinions before they honor one instruction. Give them holy courage, the kind of courage that moves even when feelings are trembling. Let them obey quickly when you say call. Let them obey quickly when you say apply. Let them obey quickly when you say leave. Let them obey quickly when you say stay. Let them obey quickly when you say be quiet. Father, train their ear to recognize your voice above every other voice, and train their feet to follow without negotiating. Because I am telling you, my beloved, partial obedience has been one of the hidden weights on your momentum. But today, I am giving you the grace to respond cleanly, simply, fully. Father, in the name of Jesus, I also pray for divine acceleration, not chaotic haste, not striving, not panic, but acceleration that comes from alignment. Where fear has delayed them, break it now. Where confusion has stalled them, bring order now. Where spiritual resistance has been pressing against them, let it lift now. Let every illegal delay be canceled. Let every cycle that has repeated beyond its season be broken. Let doors open that no man can shut. Let calls be returned. Let emails be answered. Let approvals come through. Let the right person think of them at the right time. Let resources locate them. Let favor speak for them in rooms they are not in. Let what has been held up by warfare be released. And Father, if there are any final pieces in them that must be healed before the door swings wide, heal them swiftly and deeply, so they do not step into new territory, carrying old wounds that will distort their discernment. And I declare over you now, my child, you are not stuck, you are being positioned. You are not forgotten, you are being protected. You are not behind, you are being aligned. I break the lie that says, nothing is happening. I break the lie that says, you missed it. I break the lie that says, it will never change. In Jesus' name, I speak movement into what has been stagnant. I speak light into what has felt foggy. I speak strength into what has felt weak. I speak peace into what has felt restless. And I speak confirmation, small, repeated, undeniable confirmation that will steady your heart without you chasing it. You will not have to force what I have already scheduled. You will not have to beg for what I have already assigned. You will not have to manipulate what I have already ordained. So breathe, my beloved. Receive this prayer like oil on your head and like fire in your bones. Let peace be your pace, and let obedience be your answer. I am opening unseen doors. I am clearing unseen paths. I am moving hands you cannot see. I am softening hearts you cannot reach. I am arranging what has to meet you. And when it begins to move in the natural, you will recognize it not by anxiety, but by peace. Not by confusion, but by clarity. Not by striving, but by steady favor. In Jesus' name, it is done, and you will not be delayed any longer by what I have already broken. Amen. Now, my beloved, do not let this moment pass with you only feeling comforted. I am calling you to come into agreement with what I have spoken, because hear me, your mouth is not neutral. Your words can agree with fear, or your words can agree with me. Your words can rehearse what you see, or your words can release what I said. So breathe again and speak after me, not as a performance, but as alignment, not as noise, but as authority. Not because you are trying to convince me, but because you are training your own heart to stand steady until the evidence catches up. Say it plainly. Delay is not denial. Say it again, and let your spirit believe it. Delay is not denial. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. I am working behind the scenes. I am moving where you cannot reach. I am arranging what you cannot arrange. I am closing what would have harmed you, and I am preparing what will bless you. So declare it now. God is working behind the scenes for me. God is working behind the scenes for me. And even if nothing looks different today, I will not call this season dead, because I am being positioned. Yes, say it. I am being positioned. I am being aligned. I am being prepared. Now declare your identity, because some of you have been letting disappointment rename you. You have been letting almost talk louder than my promise. You have been letting rejection tell you who you are. But today you will speak what heaven has already written. Say, I am chosen. I am protected. I am prepared for what is prepared for me. Say it until shame loosens its grip. I am chosen. I am protected. I am prepared. I am not a mistake in the earth. I am not an afterthought in a room. I am not a burden to my own destiny. I carry purpose. I carry oil. I carry a future that my hand is guarding, and I will not shrink because the process has been long. I will not insult my own calling by speaking against it. I will honor what I am becoming. Now, my child, speak discipline, because breakthrough does not only require faith, it requires restraint. There are things you must release, so you do not drag them into what I am building. So declare it. I release what cannot follow me. I release people, patterns, appetites, and habits that do not carry my future. I bless what is leaving, and I let it go clean. I will not chase what I outgrew. I will not beg for access that I was meant to lose. I will not keep explaining myself to people who are committed to misunderstanding me. If I have to force it, it is not mine. If I have to compromise to keep it, it cannot sustain me. So I let it go. I release what cannot follow me. And now say this with maturity. I honor closed doors. Some of you have been calling my protection rejection, but I am correcting you today. A closed door is not always an attack. Sometimes it is my hand. Sometimes it is my kindness. Sometimes it is my warning. So declare it. I honor closed doors because God is protecting my future. I will not romanticize what God refused. I will not mourn what would have broken me later. I will not keep knocking where I have already said, not this way. I trust the door that opens with peace. I trust the path that does not require me to lose myself. I trust the place where my spirit can breathe. Now declare timing, because impatience has been trying to tempt you into a counterfeit. Say, I trust divine timing. I trust divine timing. I will not rush ahead of God. I will not panic scroll my way into doubt. I will not make permanent decisions from temporary emotions. I will not force conversations that are not ripe. I will not chase what is assigned to meet me. I will not run back to what I prayed to be freed from just because I feel lonely. And I will not despise today while I am being trained for tomorrow. I choose obedience over urgency. I choose peace over pressure. I choose alignment over appearance. Now speak this, my beloved, because this is where your breakthrough is either accelerated or delayed. I will not settle. Say it with fire, and let it confront every place you have been tempted to accept less than what I promised. I will not settle. I will not settle for a relationship that requires me to shrink my convictions. I will not settle for an opportunity that feeds my ego but starves my soul. I will not settle for temporary relief that creates long-term regret. I will not settle for the familiar when I am being called into the prepared place. I will wait well, and I will move when I am told to move. I will not settle. And now say it, because fear has been the loudest liar in your quiet moments. I will not fear. I will not fear the silence. I will not fear the waiting. I will not fear being alone for a season. I will not fear starting over. I will not fear the pace of my process. I will not fear what people think. I will not fear missing out, because what is for me cannot pass me. I will not fear, because I am not walking by myself. I will not fear, because I will never leave you nor forsake you. I am with you in the valley and in the victory. I am with you in the waiting and in the unveiling. Seal it now with this assurance, and let it settle like a weight of glory on your chest. You will not be put to shame. You will not be abandoned in the middle of what I started. You will not be forsaken in the hour you need me most. I am the one who keeps covenant. I am the one who finishes what I begin. I am the one who restores what was stolen, redeems what was wasted, and resurrects what you thought was over. So declare it as your final agreement today. My yes is steady, my pace is peaceful, my heart is guarded, my future is secure in God, and what He promised me, He will perform. Now stay with me, my beloved. Do not just speak these words once and move on. Let them become your language. Let them interrupt your anxiety. Let them correct your mouth when you start to spiral. Because every time fear tries to narrate your life, you will answer it with agreement. And as you agree with me, you will recognize this truth. You are not stuck. You are being positioned. You are not delayed. You are being aligned. And you will not rush. You will not settle. And you will not fear, because I am bringing you into what is prepared at the appointed time, with my peace upon you. Now remain here with me a little longer, my beloved, because this is the place where many lose what is already unfolding, not because I stopped moving, but because they stopped standing. I have heard your declarations. I have seen your heart soften. I have watched you breathe again. And now I am giving you the final charge that will keep you steady until the evidence catches up to what I have already spoken. Remember what I have shown you. I have been closing doors, not to frustrate you, but to protect your future. I have been refusing certain paths, not because you were unworthy, but because I will not permit you to enter what would eventually break you. I have been removing people and patterns that cannot follow you, not to punish you with loneliness, but to make room for what is aligned with your destiny. I have been quieting your environment, not because I forgot you, but because you needed space to hear my next instruction without the noise of other voices. I have been stirring holy restlessness inside you, not to torment you, but to signal that your old season can no longer hold what I am growing in you. And I have been giving you unusual confirmation, small, repeated, unignorable, because I am strengthening you for the moment you prayed for, so you do not crumble when the door finally opens. Do you see it now, my child? Even when nothing looked different on the outside, I was doing the kind of work that cannot be measured in a day. I was aligning timing. I was aligning hearts. I was aligning resources. I was aligning your discernment. I was aligning your appetite. I was aligning your pace with my peace. Because what I am bringing you into is not just a moment, it is a mantle. It is not just a blessing, it is a responsibility. And I love you enough to prepare you before I present you. So hear me clearly, with tenderness and with correction. Do not abandon the process right before the shift. Do not step out of the oven while I am still finishing what will sustain you. Do not get so tired of waiting that you reopen the doors I closed with mercy. Some of you are tempted to go back and knock again because you want relief. Some of you are tempted to text what you were delivered from because you feel lonely. Some of you are tempted to compromise because you want quick movement. But I am warning you the way a father warns a child he loves. Do not trade alignment for speed. Do not trade peace for familiarity. Do not trade your future for a moment of comfort. You are closer than your emotions are admitting, and I know you have had days where you looked around and thought, nothing has changed. But my child, I do not require your sight to validate my work. I require your trust. I require your obedience. I require your steadiness. Because the enemy does not only attack you with fear, he also attacks you with impatience. He whispers, do something, force something, fix it, prove it. And I am telling you now, you do not have to force what I have already scheduled. If you rush, you will spend the next season cleaning up what you created outside of my timing. If you settle, you will call it answered prayer, but it will not carry the peace of my hand. If you keep explaining yourself to people I am trying to separate you from, you will keep the door open for confusion to return. So, close it cleanly, release it cleanly, walk forward cleanly. Stay steady in your spirit. Steady does not mean passive. Steady does not mean you stop living. Steady means you keep doing what I told you today while you trust me with tomorrow. Steady means you keep your lamp filled. You keep your hands clean. You keep your heart soft. You keep your yes ready. You do not spiral when you do not see instant proof. You do not measure your life by other people's timelines. You do not let one quiet day convince you I am absent. You anchor yourself in what I said, not in what you can currently touch. And let this calm promise settle you right now. I have already prepared the place where you are going, and I am guiding you into it. I am not guessing. I am not improvising. I am not late. I am not confused about your address, your name, your need, or your season. I know exactly where you are, and I know exactly where I am taking you. I have already gone ahead of you. I have already made crooked places straight. I have already arranged meetings you cannot yet see. I have already positioned favor in rooms you have not entered, and when it is time, you will not have to break down the door. It will open with peace. It will open with clarity. It will open with a steadiness that feels like me. So do not fear the quiet. Do not fear the slow. Do not fear the unseen. The fruit is coming. The evidence is coming. The call is coming. The answer is coming. The release is coming. And you will recognize it because it will not require you to betray yourself to keep it. It will not require you to beg for basic honor. It will not require you to shrink your convictions to fit inside someone else's comfort. What is from me will meet you in alignment, and it will carry my peace. Now seal this with me, my beloved, because agreement is not a small thing in the spirit. If this word is bearing witness in you, do not let it pass through you without planting it. Let your response be a stake in the ground that says, I will stay steady. I will not go back. I will not reopen what God closed. I will not abandon the process right before the shift. And as you seal it, you are not performing for people, you are confirming before heaven that your heart is ready to follow when I say move. Stay with me. Stay steady. Stay willing. Stay listening. Because what I have been doing behind the scenes is about to show up in your life as visible fruit. And when it does, you will not have to explain it. You will simply live in it with gratitude, with humility, and with the quiet confidence of one who knows, my God was working the whole time. Now do not let this end in silence, my beloved, because what I have spoken over you is not meant to be admired and then forgotten. It is meant to be agreed with. There is power when you come out of hiding with your faith. There is strength when you put your yes where others can witness it. Not because you need to prove anything to people, but because when you publicly align with my word, you stop partnering with fear in private. You draw a line in the spirit. You tell your own heart, I will stand with God even before I see the evidence. And you do not understand how many weary souls are watching quietly, needing someone else's courage to give them permission to keep going. So I am asking you, right now, to testify in one simple sentence, not later, not when everything has already turned, but now, while it is still building. Comment these words as a seed of agreement. My breakthrough is moving behind the scenes. And if you are in the waiting, if your patience has been tested, if your mind has been trying to rush me, add this as well. I will not rush God's timing. Let it come from your mouth and land in the ground like a vow. Because I have seen you tempted to panic, to force, to chase, to reopen what I closed, to go back to what I freed you from. And today, you will answer that temptation with agreement. You will not rush. You will not settle. You will not fear. You will stand still long enough to watch my salvation move. And hear me, your comment is not small. Your agreement is not small. When you write that, you are not just typing, you are planting. You are strengthening your own faith. and you are giving language to someone who has been suffering in silence, someone who has been scrolling with a heavy chest, wondering if I still speak, wondering if I still guide, wondering if I still remember. I do. I remember. I see. I am near, and I am using your obedience to pull another one out of discouragement. Now send this word to someone who has been convinced that my quiet means my absence. Send it to the person who has been waiting so long they started calling themselves stuck. Send it to the one who keeps saying, maybe God forgot. The one who has been tired of doing the right thing with no applause. The one who has been watching others receive what they have been praying for. Send it, not as a lecture, but as love. Because I will place this word like a blanket over their mind, and like a lamp in their fog. You do not know how close they are to giving up. You do not know how close they are to reopening a door I closed for their protection. And I am telling you plainly, I can use one share, one message, one moment of compassion to interrupt a spiral and preserve a destiny. And if you have been helped by this, stay connected, my beloved. Subscribe not as a casual habit, but as a decision to remain under instruction while you wait. Because I do not only comfort you, I lead you. I do not only soothe you, I correct you. I do not only tell you that something is coming, I teach you how to carry it when it arrives. There is more guidance I will give you for the days when your emotions fluctuate, for the moments when the enemy tries to rush you, for the times when silence tests your trust. And I want you anchored, not wandering from voice to voice, from opinion to opinion, from panic to panic. Stay with what is feeding your spirit. Stay with what is sharpening your discernment. Stay with what keeps you aligned when the world demands instant results. And now, as an act of faith, press like not because I need a number, but because you need a marker. Let that be your sign that you are choosing trust over panic while I align your next step. Let it be your quiet agreement that says, I will not refresh my fear. I will not obsess for proof. I will not measure my God by one slow day. Some of you need a simple action that breaks the cycle of doubt. A small point of obedience that tells your nervous system, we are safe, God is working. So let it be that. Like it as a sign that you are staying steady until the evidence catches up. And as you testify, as you share, as you stay connected, I am building a community of the steady people who do not collapse in the quiet, people who do not rush what I have scheduled, people who do not interpret delay as rejection, people who do not abandon the process right before the shift. And I will use your agreement to strengthen another. I will use your testimony to lift another. I will use your perseverance to remind another. They are not alone, they are not forgotten, and they are not behind. So seal it with me now. Comment. My breakthrough is moving behind the scenes. And if you are waiting, add, I will not rush God's timing. Send this to the one who thinks I went quiet. Stay connected for more instruction in the waiting. And let your light be your act of faith, your sign that you are choosing peace over pressure, obedience over impulse, alignment over appearance. I am with you, I am working, and you will see what I have been doing in secret.